California. 2 police officers were shot Saturday evening at 7 p.m. Young officers, both shot in the head. Fox's LA Bill Malugin has been on this story in all of its details all weekend, and he's going to set the frame for us as we begin tonight. Bill?
Tucker, good evening to you. We are in front of the hospital where both of those deputies are still being treated this evening, and quite frankly, if we're being honest, this is an absolute miracle that either of them are still alive tonight. As you mentioned, both of them were shot in the head, the face to be more specific, and still, not only are they breathing 2 days later, they're stable and they're expected to make full recoveries. Fantastic news, but let's talk about how we got here. Let's rewind the clock to Saturday night. We want to pull up some video, some surveillance video we've obtained and set your way. What you're going to see here are 2 deputies sitting in their patrol vehicle at the Compton Pack Station, the metro station. They're minding their own business, and you're going to see a suspect stalk his way up to the vehicle. He walks up, walks right up to that vehicle, pulls a gun out, and just straight up ambushes these 2 deputies, firing multiple gunshots through the window. One of the deputies is a mom of a 6-year-old child. She's 31 years old. The other deputy is a 24-year-old male. They're very new. They just graduated from the academy 14 months ago, and I want to show you a photo right here. It's a little bit graphic, but it's powerful. I did get permission from the family of these deputies as well as the sheriff himself to show this photo. It shows what they went through. This is the moment right after they were shot and right after that suspect took off. You see that female deputy. What I'm told by sources is she was shot through her jaw, and what you're seeing there is all the blood pouring down the front of her vest, her uniform. Her partner is kneeling on the ground next to her. This is part of a surveillance video footage. It's very graphic. Her partner was shot in the forehead. Thankfully, the rounds did not penetrate his cranial, his skull area, did not hit any important organs. But that photo right there, extremely powerful. And what's happening there is that deputy, despite being shot through the mouth, through her jaw, she made a radio call for help and is also tourniqueting her partner. Absolute bravery, because as this is happening, there are people videotaping them, laughing that they've been shot. There's videos online of people live streaming themselves, laughing, celebrating that they've been shot, saying no justice, no peace. And this deputy is tending to her teammate and also keeping an eye out to make sure that shooter didn't come back. We do have some of the radio call, that audio that went out when that deputy was calling for help. It's a little bit mumbled because she was shot in the face. It's heart-wrenching, but take a listen to some of it.
602 Frank, I can't copy you.
Shot in the head. Bleeding out. Compton Pack, please.
10-4, copy 998, deputy shot. 902R is going to be responding.
And again, that audio very difficult to listen to. A 998 with the LA County Sheriff's Department means a deputy-involved shooting. So the latest, what's going on right now? It is an all-out manhunt for this shooter. The sheriff himself tells me they brought in the A-team, 14 homicide detectives. The FBI is involved, as well as the U.S. Marshals. But as of right now, speaking to you, no suspects identified just yet. Nobody in custody just yet. Tucker?
Unbelievable. Bill, thank you very much. That was hard to listen to, that audio. It was awful. But we played it for you for a specific reason. This is the country they are creating. An attempted assassination of 2 young deputies. There was no dispute beforehand. There was no arrest. A man walked up out of nowhere and tried to kill them. It's the kind of thing we refer to as a senseless crime, but it wasn't senseless. There was a reason he tried to kill them. He tried to kill them because they were cops. Can we really be surprised that he tried to do that? Since the beginning of summer, the Democratic Party has told us that the police are evil, that they're killers, agents of racist genocide. Cops are the problem. Democrats have told us that every day for 3.5 months. They put it in their party platform. Finally, at least one man believed them. So he shot a young mother in uniform in the face and ran away. As she staggered out of a patrol car, struggling to breathe through the blood, a group of people in Compton stood across the street and watched. They didn't help her. They didn't call 911. They filmed the woman as she bled out. One of the onlookers celebrated her suffering. Watch this.
They just aired the police out. This the only
It go up
justice
and
we gonna
come.
get.
Just got aired out, cuz. They just bust on the cuz. That's crazy. 2 sheriffs shot in the face. 2 sheriffs shot in the face. They tripping.
That didn't happen by accident. Again, this is the country they're creating. Someone got aired out in Compton, the man says, laughing. You'd like to know who that man is. You'd like to know where he is right now. You'd like to find him. A young woman shot in the face, gasping for air as she tries to stay alive for her child. What kind of person could laugh at that? You'd like to think that only a monster could laugh at that, but the truth is scarier. Legitimate sociopaths are rare. Far more common are people who believe what they're told, and people like that are everywhere, especially right now. Black Lives Matter has told this man that police officers deserve to die because they're subhuman. So why wouldn't he celebrate their death? He and many others. A mob of ghouls quickly assembled outside the hospital where these 2 deputies were taken. They showed up to root for their death. Then they blocked the entrance and the exit to the emergency room. That meant that ambulances couldn't move. If there was ever a moment when Los Angeles Sheriff's Department would be justified in using immediate and overwhelming force to move these people and to protect the public by doing it, it was this moment. But they didn't do that. Instead, the Sheriff's Department went on Twitter and begged Joe Biden's voters to please move. It didn't work. If anything, the mob seemed emboldened. Watch.
See what's happening right here, right? They got these pigs out here. They are telling us that we cannot come in here and see these individuals who's been shot down at the mother train station.
We hope that it's gonna
Oink, oink. I hope they die. If you missed the reference there, it means you haven't been following Black Lives Matter very carefully. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. That's what BLM chanted when police officers were murdered 4 years ago in Dallas and Baton Rouge. This is the same BLM, the very same that the Democratic Party promoted at its convention over the summer, the very same BLM that the unhappy rich lady across the street from you celebrates with a sign on her front lawn that makes her feel virtuous in between yoga classes. That's what they're promoting when they promote BLM. They're promoting people like Kevin Wharton Price. Price is one of the BLM activists who wished the deputies death as they struggle to stay alive. Price is a well-known left-wing activist in Los Angeles. The LA Times, the local paper, has mentioned Price approvingly, repeatedly. On Facebook, Price uploaded a video applauding the shooting of these deputies. Watch it.
An unknown assailant walked up and busted a cap on both of them. Shot him in the head. So, I mean, what are we supposed to do, y'all? We're supposed to celebrate today because the oppressor has been slain. So if this is the start of retribution, then I think this is a very good start.
The oppressor has been slain. It's retribution. It's, quote, a very good start. Is Kevin Wharton Price on a federal watch list? You certainly would be if you advocated terrorism. But it's not likely he is because Price has powerful friends. Local Democrats in Los Angeles consider him a community leader. Just this February of this year, the LA Times reported that Price's organization, the so-called Africa Town Coalition, met several times with Mayor Eric Garcetti's office. Eric Garcetti didn't think Price was a dangerous lunatic, just the opposite. In fact, Garcetti's office met with Price's group to discuss forcing local businesses to obey their demands. So the guy who celebrates cop killing was Garcetti's go-to consultant for, quote, cultural competency. Mayor Garcetti now says he's opposed to shooting police officers. Too late. We know the truth. Meanwhile, in the nearby city of Linwood, right next to Compton, where the police officers are hospitalized tonight, the city manager, a man called Jose Omatol, also celebrated their shooting. He posted this statement on his personal Instagram, quote, "The chickens come home to roost," quoting Malcolm X. In other words, they deserve what they got. Linwood City Council has not condemned those remarks. Multiply these attitudes by every Democratic office holder in America, and you won't be surprised to see our cities burning and our cops murdered. There were riots last night in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, of all places. Never thought you'd see a riot there. The details in that story tell you everything about what's happening to the country. A 27-year-old man called Ricardo Munoz charged at police with a knife in his hand. And it wasn't an idle threat in his case. Munoz was booked last year for knifing 4 strangers, including a teenager. So the cop shot Munoz in self-defense. Good for him. You would have done the same or you would have been killed. We're not speculating about that, by the way. Here's body cam footage.
28 coming your way. Quarter J's, you are.
Where'd they go? Get back, get back.
It's not a close call. A still frame photograph from the video clearly shows Munoz with a knife raised as he charges wildly at the officer. So the police released that footage because they thought it would calm tensions. Of course, the guy had a knife. He'd been busted for knifing 4 people. The cop was about to be the 5th. Calm down, everyone. There was a reason we shot him. That's what the police were thinking. And in a reasonable country, it would have been over. Of course they shot him. But Joe Biden voters and BLM activists responded the way that Democrats have trained them to respond. They immediately smashed windows. They attacked a post office and a police station. They set literal dumpster fires in the streets. Watch this.